All right, let's get right to it. Let's get out to Sirius XM and Fox Sports host Jeff Schwartz. Jeff's all about football. What's going on, Jeff? Thanks for joining us.
Not much, man. Glad to be here. Another exciting week of action starts tonight, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'll just ask you, just because we came out to it, do you have Garoppolo mania?
What does that even mean?
It means you're a big Jimmy supporter and you think the 49ers can get where they need to go with him as a quarterback.
Yeah, but I don't think it's because Jimmy Garoppolo is an above-average quarterback. I think he works well in the system, but I still think there's limitations as far as his ability to create explosive plays in the passing game down the field, which I think are very important to winning football games in the way that football is played now. I think if he's in rhythm and get the ball out quickly and find his targets, he's good at that. But if you need a couple special throws at the end of the game, I'm not sure he's your guy still.
Jeff Schwartz joining us on 95.7 The Game. How does McCaffrey either help Garoppolo or what does he do for that 49er offense?
Well, he gives them more options to throw to. He gives them more options to kind of find those explosive plays in the passing game. I think that's the best thing he does. I don't know if he makes the run game much different, but he makes the passing game look. The goal should be to always try to find some more explosive passing plays, like down the field, right? Like obviously screens that you throw the ball for 1 yard and a receiver goes down the field and makes the big plays. That's great and all, but if McCaffrey can increase those plays happening, but also increase some of the downfield throws, and he takes some attention off wide receivers because more people are focused on stopping the run. Like those are all the positives I think of adding him to the roster.
How much, Jeff, of the 49ers' success of late has been McCaffrey being added to the mix, also having Debo and Ayuk and Kittle, and then Elijah Mitchell comes back. He's obviously out now. But how much of it is collectively having everybody, and now as you look at this game specifically Sunday, no Mitchell, maybe no McCaffrey as well, and how does that change maybe what you get from Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well, yeah, I think that certainly, as you kind of got into more rhythm of the offense, with McCaffrey back in the lineup, or in the lineup, I should say, it's helped. But you've also played the Rams, Chargers, Cardinals, and Saints. So, there's a big jump up now in competition. And you say something about Miami as well in the game this weekend. So I'm curious to see kind of both sides. Miami has had 5 straight wins against the 5 worst offense in the NFL, essentially. So I'm curious to see how both teams play against much better competition this weekend.
Jeff Schwartz of Sirius XM Radio and Fox Sports joining us on 95.7 The Game. The defense obviously is playing well. They shut out the Saints, 4 straight second halves of shutouts. There's a lot of talk, but we're still only a little over halfway through the season. How good is this 49ers defense, and then how good can it be in terms of historically, because I'm hearing 85 Bears and the Ravens of Ray Lewis.
Well, that feels a little extreme.
Michael Irvin said that yesterday, the playmaker. He compared him to the 85 Bears.
I mean, maybe, well, of course. They're off the 85 Bears, sorry. But, when they get everyone back healthy, and I think I saw that Armstead might play this weekend, right? He's at least back on the practice field.
Yes.
Their defensive line really gives everyone trouble, right? And that becomes a big part of what they're able to do, because if you can get pressure, you throw everything else off of, for the offense. So I think getting him back, and Bosa's been healthy most of the season. It's been really helpful. Obviously, you have a player like Hufanga who's kind of not come out of nowhere. If you watch him play at USC, you kind of always thought this was possible. Warner, you have good players, but it starts, I think, with the pass rush and being able to really disrupt things up front, and they have that capability. And when everyone's healthy, you can make the argument they might be the best in the NFL at using their defensive line to really create problems for an offense.
Jeff, one of the big storylines of this game is Mike McDaniel coming back after being with Kyle Shanahan for so long and being such a key figure to the 49ers' success and the running game and all of that. Just what do you think of Mike McDaniel and the job that he's done with the Dolphins? And does he have some kind of an advantage in knowing the 49ers' strengths and weaknesses defensively?
Well, he's done a great job this season, obviously, and he's on pace to probably win Coach of the Year at the moment. But just like he knows the Niners' tendencies, Shanahan knows what he wants to do too, right? I mean, and they're both kind of in the same boat as far as probably canceling each other out. Plus, look, there's been 12 weeks of film, so to think that there's some sort of schematic advantage either way because they know each other feels kind of silly, considering you have all this film out there of your looks against everything else that anyone else does. So I don't think it really matters very much. It's a fun storyline, obviously, but in the end, is someone getting an advantage over someone else? Probably not.
Jeff Schwartz joining us on 95.7 The Game. I got to ask you, since you were a former offensive lineman, where do you have Nick Bosa in terms of wreaking havoc for a defensive player?
Yeah, he's really good. Obviously, his ability to get off the ball, the quickness that he has, and turn the corner. It starts with that quickness, right? Because what it does is it makes the offensive lineman, really kind of jump out, right? Have to really honor that quickness, and it gets us kind of an off balance in bad situations, and he's able to take advantage of that. So he's been great this year. I thought he would have a huge season because it's the first offseason I think he had healthy of his entire career. We get to spend the whole offseason not rehabbing, preparing to play football instead. And so I kind of expected this big year from him. On my preview, my podcast, we mentioned I liked his sack number over this year. I think he's tied it so far to one more sack or even a half sack and that prop hit. I mean, I just felt like he was bound for a big season, and he's making me look smart.
Jeff, what do you see as far as the 49ers in the landscape of the NFC, stacking up with Philly, stacking up with Minnesota, others? What do you need to see more from the Niners? Just how do you see that shaking out?
I mean, look, they've obviously proven that they can win playoff games. I think when you have an offense that they have a physical style offense and a physical defensive line, you're going to be in every contest. It just comes down to me about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like if there's a game where he has to make special plays in the playoffs. Right now, last year you were able to beat Dallas, and he kind of missed almost those. Right, like you still won it kind of in spite of that. But to me, that that's what it comes down to is can he make those one or two special throws a game that you often need to win playoffs? Because again, you won without it last year. You won a defensive game in Green Bay. You won in Dallas with Jimmy missing a couple throws. So it can be done, but I've just kind of always come back to the quarterback and what can that quarterback provide your offense in moments of need, because we often see in the NFL that, winning and losing, and there's many obviously factors for winning and losing, but a lot of it just comes down to, does your quarterback make that special play?
Hey, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us, and really appreciate it, and hopefully we can catch up soon.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Take care.
Yeah.